What's up, bosses? Welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, we're going to talk about how to stand out in a competitive market. And the reason why we're going to be talking about this today is because I have heard before that Etsy is oversaturated and there are too many sellers on there in order to really be successful. But I'm calling BS on that because what I see is a lot of mediocre sellers on Etsy, and there's only a small percentage that are actually doing the work to build a real business. So I know that you are one of those business owners who wants to grow a real brand and a real business. How do I know this about you? Well, because you're watching this video and you're actually doing the work to educate yourself on how to grow a real business and make more sales on Etsy. So none of these limiting beliefs that there's no space for you on Etsy, because right now I'm going to tell you 4 ways of how you can overcome that thought and start implementing certain things in order to have your brand stand out. Okay, let's get into the video. So tip number 1, I want you to ask yourself, did you niche down your product enough? If you're selling printable wall art or you're selling jewelry or even earrings, that's not really a niche. That's actually just a product. So I have a video all about why you should niche down. And in that video, I talk about how a niche is a specific product or product line that solves a specific problem for a specific target audience. So you need those 3 things in order to create your niche. But when we're starting with our product, we want to make sure that we're not starting too broad. So for example, printable wall art, when I take a look at the Etsy research tool Marmalade, the competition of printable wall art has over 50,000 searches a month on Etsy. So that is crazy competitive. So we want to make sure that we're niching down, because in a nutshell, when we niche down, we'll be able to really stand out as an authority in that category, as the go-to shop, and really be able to focus in. So let's say you niche down and you want to create mid-century printable wall art. Okay, the competition is a lot less, so we'll be able to stand out in that market a lot easier. Now, once you narrow down your product, you want to ask yourself, who are you trying to serve? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Are they new homeowners trying to decorate their living room? If so, what motivated them to buy your mid-century printable art? Why did they like that style, and why did they choose printable wall art instead of buying an already framed piece of wall art? Are they new homeowners on a budget? Well, there's your niche. You sell mid-century printable wall art for new homeowners on a budget. Now, I'm telling you, if you think about it this way, you will be able to really stand out in a market. Your products will be cohesive, your messaging will be clear, and when your target audience lands on your shop, they know why they're buying from you. Tip number 2 is to define your UVP, your unique value proposition. So you're not going to be the only one out there that's selling mid-century printable wall art. So what differentiates yourself and makes yourself better from the competition? Now, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be that your customer service is top notch, or maybe it could be a little something extra that you include in your digital download. Maybe you include a lot of different sizes, and sizes that people can't really find easily. Or if you have a physical product, maybe it's the way you package your items, or maybe there really is something significantly different about your product than any other product on the market. For example, I sell thank you cards for small business owners, specifically Etsy sellers, and my thank you cards are creative kits. And this really differentiates myself from the market because I did the market research and I knew that Etsy sellers wanted a creative kit so they can make their own thank you cards, and I offer that. But the important thing is we need to make sure our UVP is very clear in our messaging. So if you have something special or different about your product, which you should, make sure that it is known by putting it in your listing description or your About Me section, wherever it makes sense. Make sure that your potential customers know why you're different and why you're special. Tip number 3 is to talk about your why. So this is something that I don't think a lot of business owners do when they're first starting out, but I think knowing your why is so important. So your why can never be only about making a profit. It can be maybe in the beginning when you're starting your business, but it really won't last. I know that when I was starting my business, I was selling champagne flutes, and my why was I just really like to create, and I really liked to sell things. So my why wasn't super compelling, but it kept me going. But then when I realized that to grow a business, I needed to actually start creating content and building my brand and defining my ICA and my UVP and my why, I realized that I really didn't want to serve my target audience who were bridal parties or brides-to-be. So I really had to ask myself some tough questions. And one of them was, why am I really in business? And I was having a hard time articulating this. So my business mentor asked me, what is one lesson or healing or message that you learned that you would really love to share with the whole world? And that really clicked with me because I realized that about 5 years ago, I read a self-help book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and it really opened my eyes to the possibilities. And over time, as I was doing more self-development work, I realized that I had a lot of limiting beliefs. So I thought that I needed to work a 9 to 5 in order to make a living, and I couldn't be as creative as I wanted to be if I wanted to make money. But once I realized that that wasn't true, I was telling everyone in my life about this, and it was probably very annoying for them. Another thing that my mentor asked me was, what is something in your current job or your past career that you really didn't like, and what can you take from that experience and change in your new career path of being an entrepreneur? And that was really freedom. I wanted to be able to create and make money doing so, and also I wanted the freedom to come and go as I please. So that's what I wanted, mixed with the greatest lesson that I learned is my why of why I'm doing my business nowadays. So I may sell business thank you cards on Etsy, but I have my YouTube channel, my Instagram account, my private Facebook group, and all of those things give me a platform to not just talk about why you need to include a thank you card with your social media handles in your packages. It really allows me to share with you my mindset shifts that have really helped me, and also the business strategies and the things that I've learned while trying to grow this business. So to tie tip 3 all together, figure out what your why is for running your business and make sure you're sharing that in your content creation. So far, we talked about niching down, we talked about discovering what your unique value proposition is, and discovering your why. And I think those are really good foundations to how to stand out in a competitive market. But tip number 4 is really just going to be strategy. So people say that it's 80% mindset and 20% strategy. I think that strategy is so important. There are so many people on Etsy just winging it. And if you just take that extra effort to really learn how to do your keyword research in the correct way, how to write listing descriptions in the correct way, you know, with features and benefits, the difference between those things and why we use them in our sales copy and our listing descriptions and email marketing. Not everyone is doing all of these things. So if you put in the extra effort, you will stand out from the competition and you will be able to grow your business. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it inspired you to keep going, keep pushing, keep learning, and keep implementing. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.